Kim Woo stepped off the transport ship and looked around at Kepler Station. The massive space station floated in the dark between three moons, and it was bigger than any city he had ever seen back on Earth. The metal walls stretched up so high that he could not see the top, and strange alien creatures walked everywhere in different colored uniforms. His stomach felt tight with worry as he carried his single bag down the long hallway. Other recruits stared at him and whispered to each other, in languages he did not understand. Some of them had 4 arms, and others had skin that looked like rocks. A few had eyes that glowed in the dark and made clicking sounds when they talked. Kim Woo had never felt so alone in his entire life. The other human recruits had warned him about this place. They said aliens did not like humans much. They called Earth a death world and said humans were crazy for living there. Kim Woo did not understand why anyone could live on Earth if they were careful and smart. But the aliens seemed scared of humans for some reason. A tall, blue-skinned alien with silver hair walked up to him. She wore the uniform of a station guide, and her voice sounded like music when she spoke. "Welcome to Kepler Station, human. Recruit, your name, please? Kim Woo Ma am," he said, and tried to stand up straight like they taught him in basic training. The alien looked at a glowing tablet in her hands. "You are assigned to Commander Veltar for orientation. Follow the red lights on. The floor to Section 7. Good luck, human." She walked away quickly like she did not want to stay near him. Kim Woo followed the red lights on the floor and noticed how other aliens moved out of his way. Some of them looked afraid. Others just looked, curious like he was some kind of strange animal. The red lights led him through many hallways filled with aliens from all over the galaxy. He saw creatures with tentacles instead of arms, and others that floated in the air without wings or jets. The station was like a huge zoo of different species all working together in the military. Finally, he reached Section 7 and found Commander Veltar waiting for him. The commander was huge, almost 3 meters tall, with dark green scales covering his body and yellow eyes that seemed to look right through Kim Woo. His uniform had so many medals and ribbons that Kim Woo lost count. "So you are the new human recruit, Commander," Veltar said in a deep voice that rumbled like thunder. Kim Woo could smell something like old leather and metal coming from the alien commander. "Yes," Sir Kim Woo replied and saluted the way they taught him. The commander looked him up and down slowly. "Tell me, human, what makes you think you can survive in the Galactic Defense Corps? Most species need years of training before they can handle real combat duty. Yet your people send recruits after only a few months of basic preparation." Kim Woo thought carefully before answering. "I want to serve, sir. I want to prove that humans can be good soldiers too." Several alien recruits nearby started laughing. The sound was strange because some of them made chirping noises and others sounded like machines breaking. Commander Veltar raised one scaled hand and they became quiet. The commander picked up another glowing tablet and scrolled through information. "Your test scores are average at best. Your physical training marks are nothing special. Yet Earth Command insists on sending you here. Why do you think that is, human Kim?" Woo felt his face get hot with embarrassment. "I do not know, sir. Maybe they think I can learn." "Learning is not enough here, recruit. This is Kepler Station, the edge of known space. We handle the missions that other bases cannot or will not. You will be assigned to patrol duty on Nexus 7. The alien recruits started whispering again. Kim Woo heard one of them say something about Nexus 7 being a death sentence. Another one made a sound like laughter, but it was not a happy sound. Commander Veltar continued. "Nexus 7 is a jungle planet, Class 9 hostile environment. The local predators have killed more soldiers in the past year than enemy action. Nothing survives there for long. Most species last maybe 2 weeks, before requesting transfer or medical evacuation." Kim Woo tried to keep his voice steady. "How long do humans usually last, sir?" The commander showed his teeth in what might have been a smile. No human has ever been assigned to Nexus 7 before you. Will be the first congratulations recruit. You are making history. One of the alien recruits stepped forward. It was a creature with gray skin and 6 arms wearing a corporal uniform. Commander, sir, perhaps the human should start with easier duties. Station maintenance or supply runs. The commander turned his yellow eyes toward the corporal. Are you questioning my judgment? Corporal Zix. No, sir, the 6-armed alien replied quickly. I just thought you thought wrong. The human requested assignment to prove himself. So I am giving him that chance. If he survives 1 month on Nexus 7, I will personally recommend him for advanced combat training. If not, well, at least we will have some data on human survival capabilities in extreme environments. Kim Wu felt cold fear creep up his spine, but he kept his back straight. What kind of predators are on the planet, sir? The commander touched his tablet, and a holographic image appeared above it. The creature in the image was massive with black fur and teeth longer than Kim Woo's fingers. It had 6 legs and red eyes that seemed to glow with their own light. This is a blood fang alpha, the apex predator of Nexus 7. They grow up to 4 meters long and weigh as much as a small vehicle. Their bite can crush metal, and they hunt in coordinated packs. Nothing on that planet is more dangerous. They have killed 47 soldiers from 12 different species in the past 18 months. The alien recruits moved away from Kim Woo like being near him was bad luck. One of them whispered to another, I give the human 3 days. Maximum Commander Vel Tar made the hologram disappear. Your transport leaves in 2 hours. Collect your gear from the supply depot and report to Docking Bay 12. Do you have any questions? Recruit Kim Woo wanted to ask many things, but he knew it would not help. What supplies should I prioritize, sir? Standard jungle kit, medical supplies, extra water purification tablets, and whatever personal items you think might help you sleep at night, because you will need all the rest you can get. The commander turned to walk away, then stopped. Oh, and recruit Kim Woo, yes, sir. Try not to die on your first day. It would reflect poorly on human training methods. Kim Woo saluted again and watched the huge alien commander walk away. The other recruits scattered quickly, leaving him alone in the hallway. He looked at the time display on the wall. 2 hours to prepare for what might be the last mission of his life. He walked toward the supply depot, thinking about his family back on Earth. His grandmother had always told him that courage was not the absence of fear, but action, despite fear. As he gathered his gear and prepared for Nexus 7, Kim Woo decided that he would rather die trying to prove himself than live. Knowing he had given up, the transport ship was small and old, but it would get him to the jungle planet in 6 hours. Kim Woo strapped himself in and tried not to think about the blood fang alphas waiting below. Kim Woo had been on Nexus 7 for 2 days, and he was still alive. The jungle was hot and wet and full of sounds he had never heard before. Strange birds called from the trees, and insects buzzed around his head in thick clouds. The air smelled like rotting plants and something else he could not name. His small outpost was just a metal box with basic supplies and communication equipment. The other soldiers who had been stationed here before him had left warnings written on the walls. Do not go out at night. Stay in groups of 3 or more. The Bloodfangs hunt at dawn and dusk, but Kim Woo was alone, so those rules did not help him much. He had already seen tracks in the mud around the outpost, massive paw prints with claw marks that dug deep into the earth. Whatever made them was bigger than anything he had seen on Earth on. His second morning, he was checking the perimeter sensors when he heard something moving through the thick jungle plants. The sound was heavy like a large Animal walking slowly through the undergrowth, Kim Woo grabbed his rifle and moved toward the sound, even though every instinct told him to run back to the outpost. Through the green leaves he saw it, the Blood Fang Alpha from the hologram. But this one was even bigger. Its black fur was wet from the jungle humidity, and its red eyes scanned the area around Kim Woo's position. The creature was hunting, and Kim Woo realized he was probably the prey. The massive predator stepped into the clearing, near his outpost, and Kim Woo could see that something was wrong with it. The animal was limping badly, and there was a deep wound on its left rear leg. The injury looked infected, and Kim Woo could smell the sickness even from 30 meters away. Any normal soldier would have shot the creature while it was weak and distracted. But Kim Woo had grown up on a farm before joining the military. His grandmother had taught him to care for injured animals, even dangerous ones. She always said that pain made all creatures act differently than they normally would. The Bloodfang Alpha looked directly at Kim Woo and made a low, growling sound. Kim Woo slowly put his rifle on the ground and raised his hands to show he was not a threat. The creature tilted, its massive head like it was trying to understand what the human was doing. Kim Woo remembered his field rations in his pack. He had been saving them because the supply drop was not scheduled for another week, but something about the way the creature looked at him made him want to try something crazy. He took out one of the ration packs and tossed it halfway between himself and the predator. The Bloodfang Alpha sniffed the air and moved slowly toward the food package. Its limp was getting worse, and Kim Woo could see that the wound was causing the animal serious pain. The creature sniffed the ration pack, then looked back at Kim Woo with those glowing red eyes. Kim Woo took another ration from his pack, and this time he walked slowly toward the creature. Every step felt like it might be his last, but the Bloodfang Alpha did not attack. Instead, it sat down heavily, like a giant dog, waiting for its owner to come home. When Kim Woo was close enough to touch the creature, he could see the wound clearly. It was deep and full of infection from some kind of jungle bacteria. The smell was terrible, but Kim Woo had dealt with sick animals before. He opened his medical kit and took out antiseptic solution and bandages. The creature watched him with intelligent eyes as Kim Woo began to clean the wound. It made a sound that was almost like a whimper when he poured the antiseptic on the infection, but it did not try to bite or run away. Instead, it seemed to understand that the human was trying to help. As Kim Woo worked, he started humming an old Korean song his grandmother used to sing when she was taking care of sick farm animals. The melody was soft and calming, and the Bloodfang Alpha seemed to relax when it heard the music back. At Kepler Station, Commander Veltar was watching the drone feeds from Nexus 7. He had expected to see Kim Woo either dead or hiding in his outpost. Instead, he was watching the human treat the wounds of the most dangerous predator in known space. Other officers crowded around the monitor in disbelief. "This is impossible," said Corporal Zix, the six-armed alien who had questioned Kim Woo's assignment. "Bloodfang Alphas kill everything they meet. They do not sit still for medical treatment, Commander." Veltar watched as Kim Woo finished bandaging the creature's leg and gave it another ration pack. The predator ate the food slowly, then lay down near the human like they were old friends. "Call headquarters," the commander said. "I think we need to report this on Nexus 7. Kim Woo sat down next to the massive creature and opened his own ration pack. The Bloodfang Alpha watched him eat and made a sound that was almost like a cat purring. Kim Woo had no idea that he was making history. He just knew that the creature had been in pain and he had been able to help. The creature stayed near the outpost for the rest of the day. Kim Woo named it Baram, after the Korean word for wind, because of the way it moved so quietly through the jungle for something so large. When night came, Baram curled up outside the outpost like a giant guard dog. Kim Woo slept better that night than he had since arriving on the planet. He could hear Bahram breathing outside, and somehow the sound made him feel safe. In the morning, he found that the creature had brought him something, a large fish from the jungle river, still fresh and ready to cook. For the next few days, Kim Woo and Bahram developed a routine. Kim Woo would check his equipment and patrol the area, while Bahram rested or hunted for food. The creature seemed to understand that Kim Woo had a job to do, and it never interfered with his duties. Other soldiers watching the drone feeds could not believe what they were seeing. A human and a Bloodfang Alpha. Working together like partners, Kim Woo would clean and rebandage Bahram's wound each day, and the infection slowly began to heal. The creature followed Kim Woo everywhere, always staying close enough to protect him but far enough away to let him work. Kim Woo talked to Bahram like it was a person telling it about his life on Earth and his worries about proving himself in the military. Bahram seemed to listen to every word, making small sounds that almost sounded like responses. Kim Woo began to think that the creature was much more intelligent than the military files suggested. Maybe the Bloodfang Alphas had been attacking soldiers, not because they were mindless predators, but because they saw the aliens as threats to their territory on his 7th day on Nexus 7. Kim Woo was repairing a sensor array when he heard the sound of aircraft approaching. He looked up to see 3 enemy fighters streaking through the jungle canopy toward his position. The rebels had found his outpost, and they were coming to destroy it. Kim Woo grabbed his rifle and prepared to defend himself, even though he knew 3 fighters were too much for 1 soldier. But before he could even take aim, Bahram erupted from the jungle like a force of nature. The massive creature leaped higher than Kim Woo thought possible and brought down the first fighter with its claws. The other 2 pilots tried to escape, but Bahram was faster than their machines. The creature moved through the trees like it was flying. Destroying both aircraft before they could get away, Kim Woo watched in amazement as his friend eliminated 3 enemy fighters without taking a single injury. When it was over, Bahram came back to Kim Woo and made the purring sound that meant it. Was happy Kim Woo patted the creature's massive head and realized that everything had changed. He was no longer just a human recruit trying to survive on a hostile planet. He was part of something bigger and more important than he had ever imagined. The news of Kim Woo and Bahram's successful defense against the rebel fighters spread through Kepler Station faster than anyone expected. Commander Veltar received urgent messages from High Command asking for detailed reports about the human recruit. And his impossible partnership with the Bloodfang Alpha. Kim Woo did not know about the excitement his friendship with Bahram was causing across the galaxy. He was too busy learning how to work with his new companion. The massive creature had healed completely from its leg wound and now followed Kim Woo everywhere with the loyalty of a devoted pet. Every morning, Bahram would bring Kim Woo fresh water from a clean stream deep in the jungle and sometimes fish or fruit that the human could eat safely. The creature seemed to understand exactly what Kim Woo needed before he even asked for it. Kim Woo discovered that Bahram was incredibly intelligent. The creature could understand simple hand signals and even seemed to recognize some Korean words. When Kim Woo said the word for danger in Korean, Bahram would immediately become alert and scan the area for threats. The other soldiers watching through drone feeds were amazed by what they saw. Kim Woo would point to a location and Bahram would go there to investigate. Kim Woo would make a gesture for quiet, and Bahram would move silently through the jungle like a shadow. The partnership between human and predator was unlike anything in military records. 3 weeks after the fighter attack, Kim Woo was conducting a routine patrol when his motion sensors detected a large group approaching through the jungle. The readings showed at least 50 hostile contacts moving in organized formation toward the outpost. Kim Woo immediately activated his emergency beacon and prepared his defenses, but he knew that 50 enemies were far too many for him to handle alone. Even with Bahram's help, the odds were impossible. The attacking force was a mixed group of rebel aliens from different species. They had been planning to capture the outpost and use it as a base for attacks on military supply convoys. They expected to find one scared human recruit hiding behind whatever defenses he could manage. Instead, they found Kim Woo standing calmly, in the clearing with the largest Bloodfang Alpha they had ever seen. The sight of the massive predator caused several rebels to freeze in terror. Bloodfang Alphas were legendary killers that no military force had ever successfully controlled. Rebel Commander was a four-armed alien with blue skin and cybernetic implants, covering half his face. He raised his weapon and shouted orders to his troops in the common galactic language, telling them to kill both the human and the creature Kim. Woo looked at Barum and said a single word in Korean, the word for hunt, that his grandmother had taught him when they worked together to protect their farm animals from wild predators. Barum understood immediately. What happened next would be studied by military tacticians for years to come. Barum did not charge blindly into the enemy formation like a wild animal. Instead, the creature used intelligence and strategy, moving through the jungle with purpose and precision. The massive predator struck from the shadows, taking down sentries before they could raise an alarm. Then it began herding the remaining rebels toward Kim. Woo's position like a sheepdog working with a shepherd. The rebels found themselves pushed together into a tight group. With no escape routes, Kim Woo used his training and equipment to maximum advantage, setting up crossfire patterns and using the jungle terrain to multiply his effectiveness. But the real key was his coordination with Barum. The creature seemed to know exactly where Kim Woo needed enemies to be and when. The battle lasted less than 20 minutes. When it was over, 30 rebels were captured alive and the rest had fled into the jungle. Kim Woo had not fired his weapon more than a dozen times. But Barum had been everywhere at once, a living force of nature that turned the tide of combat back at Kepler Station. The command staff watched the battle recordings in stunned silence. Commander Veltar replayed the footage 3 times, trying to understand how one human and one creature had defeated a force that should have overwhelmed them easily. "This changes everything," said the station intelligence officer. A single human with a Bloodfang Alpha partner just accomplished what would normally require a full platoon of our best troops. Commander Veltar nodded grimly and activated his secure communication link to Galactic Headquarters. Within hours, Kim Woo received new orders. He was being promoted to corporal and assigned to special operations. But the most important change was that Barum was officially recognized as Kim Woo's combat partner, the first alien creature in galactic military history to receive such designation. The massive predator would receive the same medical care supply priority and legal protection as any soldier. Kim Woo felt proud when he heard about his promotion, but he was more interested in the fact that Barum was now officially part of the military team. The creature had risked its life to help him and deserved recognition for its service. The other alien recruits at Kepler Station no longer laughed at Kim Woo when he visited for supply runs. Instead, they watched him with something that looked like fear, mixed with respect. The human who had once been dismissed as weak and primitive was now considered one of the most effective soldiers in the sector. Kim Woo did not let the attention change him. He still maintained his equipment carefully, still followed military protocols exactly, and still treated every mission as an opportunity to prove that humans deserve their place in the galactic community. But now he had Barum as his partner, and that made everything different. The massive creature had become more than just an ally. It had become family. Kim Woo would talk to Barum in Korean about his hopes and fears, and the creature would listen with intelligent eyes that seemed to understand every word. During quiet moments at the outpost, Kim Woo would brush Barum's fur and check for any injuries or problems. The creature would purr with contentment and sometimes bring Kim Woo small gifts from the jungle, bright flowers or interesting stones that caught its attention. The partnership between human and Bloodfang Alpha proved that cooperation could exist between species that had never worked together before. Kim Woo began to wonder if the galaxy had been wrong about many things. If humans and Bloodfang Alphas could become partners, maybe other impossible alliances were possible too. 1 month after. The rebel attack Kim Woo received a message that would change his life again. High Command had a special mission for him and Baram, something that no other soldier in the galaxy could accomplish. As Kim Woo read the mission briefing, he realized that his days as a simple patrol soldier were over. He and Baram were about to become part of something much bigger than either of them had ever imagined. The galaxy was watching and waiting to see what the human and his impossible partner could do. Next, Kim Woo looked at Baram resting peacefully in the shade of a massive jungle tree and smiled. The creature had chosen to trust him, and that trust had created something new and powerful. Now it was time to show the galaxy what that partnership could really accomplish. Dr. Yuna arrived at Nexus 3 days after Kim Woo received his new orders. She was a xenobiologist who specialized in studying predator behavior, and the military had sent her to investigate the impossible partnership between human and Bloodfang. Alpha Kim Woo met her transport ship at the small landing pad near his outpost. Baram stayed hidden in the jungle at first, because most aliens were terrified when they saw the massive creature. Dr. Yuna was different, though. She seemed more curious than afraid. "I have studied Bloodfang Alphas for 5 years," Dr. Yuna said, as she unpacked her equipment. "They are the most dangerous predators we have ever encountered. Nothing should be able to form a partnership with them, yet here you are proving everything we know is wrong." Kim Woo helped her carry her scientific instruments to the outpost. He had learned to respect the intelligence of scientists during his training, and he wanted to cooperate with her research. Dr. Yuna was the first person who seemed interested in understanding what had happened rather than just being amazed by it. "Where is your partner?" she asked, looking around the clearing. Kim Woo made a soft clicking sound with his tongue, and Baram emerged from the jungle. Dr. Yuna took a step backward when she saw the creature, but she did not run away or reach for a weapon. Instead, she observed Baram with the careful attention of a professional scientist. "Fascinating," she said quietly. "The creature shows no aggressive behavior toward you at all. Most Bloodfang Alphas attack anything that moves within 50 meters of their territory." Kim Woo gestured for Baram to sit down, and the massive predator obeyed immediately. Dr. Yuna recorded everything with her instruments, taking measurements of Baram's size, weight, and behavior patterns. She also collected samples of the creature's fur and saliva for later analysis. Over the next week, Dr. Yuna conducted dozens of experiments trying to understand how the partnership worked. She measured Kim Woo's heart rate, stress hormones, and brain activity while he interacted with Baram. She also studied the creature's responses to different stimuli. The results surprised even Dr. Yuna, who had expected to find some simple explanation for the unusual behavior. Instead, she discovered something that challenged everything the galaxy knew about both humans and Bloodfang. Alpha's humans emit a unique combination of pheromones, Dr. Yuna explained to Kim Woo after analyzing her data. These chemical signals are different from any other known species. When Bloodfang Alphas detect these pheromones, they recognize humans as fellow apex predators rather than prey. Kim Woo did not understand all the scientific terms, but he grasped the basics. Baram had not seen him as food or as a threat. The creature had recognized him as an equal, a fellow hunter who deserved respect rather than aggression, but that is only part of the story. Dr. Yuna continued, "Your behavior patterns are also crucial. You showed no fear when you first encountered Baram. You approached with confidence and offered food instead of fighting. These actions confirmed to the creature that you were indeed a predator. Like itself." Dr. Yuna showed Kim Woo video recordings of other species attempting to interact with Bloodfang Alphas. Every other alien had displayed fear responses that triggered the creature's hunting instincts. Even the bravest soldiers had elevated heart rates and stress hormone levels that marked them as prey. "Humans are different," she explained. "Your species evolved on a death world where everything was trying to kill you. This shaped your neurological responses in unique ways. When you encounter dangerous situations, your brain releases chemicals that actually make you calmer and more focused. Kim Woo thought about his grandmother and how she had always remained calm when dealing with dangerous farm animals. Maybe his ability to work with Baram was not just luck. Maybe it was something deeper that all humans possessed. Dr. Yuna contacted Galactic Headquarters with her findings, and the response was immediate. High Command wanted to test her theories with other humans and other Bloodfang Alphas. If her research was correct, it could revolutionize military operations on dangerous worlds. Within days, a team of human volunteers arrived at Nexus 7, along with several captured Bloodfang Alphas that had been taken from other hostile worlds. Kim Woo helped train the volunteers, showing them how to approach the creatures and establish trust. The first volunteer was a human woman named Hana, who had grown up in the mountains of Earth. She followed Kim Woo's example, offering food to a young Bloodfang Alpha and speaking in calm, quiet tones. A creature responded just as Baram had, sitting down and allowing her to approach one by one. Each human volunteer successfully bonded with a Bloodfang Alpha. Dr. Yuna documented everything, building a scientific foundation for what she was calling the Apex Partnership Protocol. Her research proved that the connection between humans and these predators was not accidental but biological. The implications were staggering. Every military base in hostile territory could potentially use human Bloodfang Alpha teams instead of large numbers of traditional soldiers. The creatures were faster, stronger, and more durable than any military vehicle, and their partnership with humans gave them tactical intelligence they had never possessed before. Kim Woo felt proud that his friendship with Baram had led to such an important discovery, but he also worried about what would happen next. The military would want to use this knowledge for warfare, but Kim Woo had learned that Baram was more than just a weapon. The creature was intelligent, emotional, and capable of loyalty and friendship. Dr. Yuna seemed to understand his concerns. I will recommend that any Apex Partnership program include proper training for both human and creature partners, she told him. These are not just military assets. They are intelligent beings who deserve respect and care. As Dr. Yuna prepared to leave Nexus 7 with her research data, Kim Woo realized that his quiet life as a patrol soldier was ending. The galaxy now knew that humans possessed a unique ability and that knowledge would change everything. Baram sensed Kim Woo's mood and pressed against him, offering comfort the way the creature always did when its human partner seemed troubled. Kim Woo scratched behind Baram's ears and spoke to it in Korean, explaining that big changes were coming. The creature made its purring sound, and Kim Woo knew that whatever happened next, they would face it together. The bond between them was stronger than military orders or scientific discoveries. It was a friendship built on trust and mutual respect. Dr. Yuna boarded her transport ship with containers full of research samples and data files that would reshape galactic military doctrine. As her ship lifted off, Kim Woo and Baram watched from the jungle clearing where they had first met. Soon they would receive new orders that would test their partnership in ways they had never imagined. But for now, Kim Woo was content to sit in the peaceful jungle, with his impossible friend watching the stars appear in the alien sky above them. The orders came directly from High Command, and they were unlike anything Kim Woo had ever seen before. Planet Kresh 9 had fallen to an invasion of insectoid warriors called the Swarm. The enemy had overrun 3 major colonies and captured thousands of civilians who were now trapped behind enemy lines. 12 elite commando teams from different alien species had already attempted rescue missions on Kresh 9. All 12 teams had been destroyed or forced to retreat. The Swarm moved in perfect coordination like a single massive organism, and their numbers seemed endless. Now, High Command wanted to test the new Apex Partnership Protocol in the most dangerous possible situation. Kim Woo and Baram would be dropped alone onto Kresh 9 with basic equipment and a single impossible mission: rescue the trapped colonists and drive off the Swarm invasion force. Kim Woo read the mission briefing 3 times, trying to understand how 2 individuals could accomplish what hundreds of elite soldiers had failed to do. The numbers were overwhelming. The swarm had deployed thousands of warriors across the planet, and they controlled all the major population centers. But High Command believed that the unique partnership between human and Bloodfang Alpha might succeed where conventional tactics had failed. Kim Woo would provide tactical intelligence and strategic thinking, while Baram offered raw power and predator instincts that the swarm had never encountered before. The transport ship that carried them to Kresh 9 was filled with tension. The crew members whispered among themselves about the suicide mission they were delivering. Kim Woo tried to ignore their doubts and focus on preparing himself and Baram for what lay ahead. He had spent weeks learning to communicate with Baram through a combination of Korean words, hand signals, and body language. The massive creature understood dozens of commands and could even respond to complex tactical instructions. Kim Woo had never imagined that such deep communication was possible with an alien predator. As their ship approached Kresh, 9 Kim Woo studied satellite images of the planet's surface. The swarm had built massive hives in the ruins of human cities, and their patrol patterns covered every kilometer of inhabited territory. Any rescue attempt would require perfect coordination and incredible luck. Baram seemed to sense the importance of their mission. The creature stayed close to Kim Woo during the journey and made soft sounds that the human had learned meant concern or affection. Kim Woo spoke to his partner in Korean, explaining their mission and the dangers they would face. The drop pod landed in a dense forest 50 kilometers from the nearest colony. The impact threw Kim Woo against his restraints, but Baram absorbed the shock easily and immediately began scanning their surroundings for threats. The creature had developed remarkable instincts for danger during their months together. Kim Woo activated his communication equipment and tried to contact the trapped colonists, but the swarm was jamming all frequencies. He would have to locate the civilians using only basic navigation and his knowledge of human settlement patterns. For 3 days, Kim Woo and Baram moved through the hostile terrain, avoiding swarm patrols and gathering intelligence. The insectoid warriors moved in groups of exactly 12 individuals, and they followed predictable routes that suggested a hive mind. Controlling their actions, Kim Woo began to develop a plan that used the swarm's predictability against them. If he and Baram could time their attacks perfectly, they might be able to create enough confusion to rescue small groups of colonists. The key would be hitting multiple targets simultaneously to overwhelm the hive mind's ability to coordinate responses. On their 4th day, they found the first group of trapped colonists hidden in the basement of a destroyed school building. 15 humans, including 6 children, were hiding from swarm patrols that passed by every 2 hours. Kim Woo knew he had found his first rescue opportunity. He explained his plan to Baram using their private communication system the creature would attack. The Eastern Patrol route at exactly the same time, Kim Woo engaged the Western Patrol. This would create a gap in coverage that would allow the colonists to escape to the forest. The plan worked perfectly. Baram struck like a force of nature, destroying an entire swarm patrol in seconds, while Kim Woo used precision shots to eliminate the Western group. The colonists followed his escape route and reached safety before the swarm could respond, but Kim Woo knew that rescuing 15 people was only the beginning. Almost 3,000 colonists were still trapped across the planet, and each rescue would be more difficult as the swarm adapted to his tactics over the next 2 weeks. Kim Woo and Baram conducted 17 successful rescue operations. They developed new techniques for each mission, using Baram's incredible speed and power in combination with Kim Woo's tactical planning. The rescued colonists were evacuated to secure locations where they could wait for military pickup. The partnership between human and Bloodfang Alpha proved even more effective than Dr. Eunice research had predicted. Baram seemed to anticipate Kim Woo's needs and often acted without direct commands. The creature had learned to read human tactical situations and respond appropriately. Kim Woo discovered that Baram was capable of incredible stealth, despite its massive size. The creature could move through urban ruins without making a sound, and its black fur made it nearly invisible in shadows. This natural camouflage gave them a huge advantage over the insectoid enemies. The swarm began to adapt to their tactics, deploying larger patrol groups and changing their routes randomly. But Kim Woo and Baram adapted faster, developing new strategies that used the creature's natural hunting instincts in combination with human military doctrine. Their biggest challenge came during the rescue of a large group of colonists trapped in the planetary capital. The swarm had concentrated its forces around the city, and there were thousands of warriors patrolling every street. Kim Woo knew that conventional tactics would fail against such overwhelming numbers. Instead, he decided to use psychological warfare against the hive mind, controlling the swarm Kim. Woo and Baram began attacking swarm positions randomly across the city, creating the impression that a large military force was operating in the area. The confusion worked. The swarm began pulling forces from colonial guard duties to search for the phantom army that was attacking them. This created the gaps Kim Woo needed to reach the trapped civilians. The final rescue operation required Kim Woo and Baram to fight their way through the heart of the swarm stronghold. The creature moved like liquid death through enemy positions, while Kim Woo provided covering fire and tactical guidance. When they reached the colonist shelter, Kim Woo found 400 people hiding in an underground complex. They had been trapped for weeks with minimal food and water, but they were alive and ready to fight for their freedom. Getting 400 people out of enemy territory seemed impossible, but Kim Woo had learned that impossible was just another word for difficult. Baram could carry multiple people at high speed, while Kim Woo coordinated group movements using skills he had never known he possessed. The evacuation took 6 hours and required perfect timing. Kim Woo split the colonists into groups and moved them through carefully planned routes, while Baram provided security and eliminated threats. The massive creature seemed to be everywhere at once, protecting civilians and clearing escape paths. When the last group of colonists reached safety, Kim Woo realized that they had accomplished something unprecedented. They had not only rescued nearly 3,000 people, but had also forced the swarm to abandon their invasion plans. The hive mind had decided that Creche 9 was too dangerous to hold, as evacuation ships arrived to collect. The rescued colonists Kim Woo sat in the forest with Baram and tried to understand what they had accomplished together. The mission that everyone had called impossible had become the greatest rescue operation in galactic military history. Baram made the purring sound that meant contentment and pressed against Kim Woo the way it always did after a successful mission. The creature seemed to understand that they had done something important, something that would change how the galaxy viewed. Both humans and Bloodfang Alpha's Kim Woo scratched behind Baram's ears and spoke to his partner in Korean, telling the creature how proud he was of their work together. They had proven that cooperation between species could overcome any challenge, no matter how impossible it seemed. The news of Kim Woo and Baram's success on Creche 9 spread across the galaxy faster than anyone had expected. Within days, every major news network was broadcasting stories about the human recruit and his impossible partner who had accomplished the greatest rescue mission in military history. Kim Woo found himself at the center of attention. He had never wanted. Reporters from dozens of worlds requested interviews, and military leaders from every major species wanted to meet the team that had revolutionized combat operations. The simple patrol soldier from Earth had become the most famous human in the Galaxy High Command, immediately began planning the expansion of the Apex Partnership Protocol. Dr. Eunice research was classified as the highest priority, and funding was allocated for training facilities across multiple worlds. The partnership between humans and Bloodfang Alphas was no longer an experiment. It was the future of military operations. Commander Veltar arrived at Kresh 9 personally, to debrief Kim Woo and observe Baram. The massive alien officer who had once dismissed humans as primitive now treated Kim Woo with the respect reserved for legendary warriors. "Your success has changed everything," the commander said as they walked through the temporary base established for evacuated colonists. Alien military leaders who once refused to work with humans are now demanding human advisors for their most dangerous missions. Kim Woo felt uncomfortable with all the attention, but he understood the importance of what had happened. He and Baram had proven that cooperation between species could overcome challenges that no single species could handle alone. Their partnership was evidence that the galaxy was stronger when different peoples worked together. The first official Apex Partnership Training Center was established on a moon orbiting Kepler station. Kim Woo was promoted to instructor with Baram, recognized as the senior training partner. Their job would be to teach other humans how to form bonds with Blood Fang alphas and develop the tactical skills needed for successful operations. Dozens of human volunteers arrived for the first training class. They came from all over Earth, representing every culture and background. Kim Woo was amazed by their diversity and their eagerness to learn. The success on Kresh 9 had inspired humans everywhere to join the military and prove their worth to the galactic community, teaching other humans how to work with Blood Fang alphas proved more challenging than Kim Woo had expected. Each partnership was unique and required patience and understanding from both human and creature. Some bonds formed quickly while others took weeks of careful interaction. Baram became an excellent training partner, helping new Blood Fang alphas learn to trust humans and work as part of a team. The massive creature seemed to understand its role as a teacher and showed remarkable patience with younger or more aggressive partners. Within 6 months, the first graduating class of Apex Partnership teams was ready for deployment. They were sent to hostile worlds that had been considered too dangerous for normal military operations. The results exceeded all expectations, with mission success rates improving by over 300%. Alien military leaders who had once viewed humans with suspicion now competed to have human Blood Fang alpha teams assigned to their most critical missions. The unique abilities of these partnerships had proven effective against every type of enemy, from insectoid swarms to cybernetic invasion forces. Kim Woo received reports of successful missions from around the galaxy. Teams trained at his facility were rescuing trapped civilians, fighting off invasions, and establishing bases on worlds that had been written off as uninhabitable. The Apex Partnership Protocol was transforming military doctrine throughout known space. But the most important changes were not military. Kim Woo's success had forced the galaxy to reconsider its assumptions about humans and other species that had been dismissed as primitive. The partnership with Blood Fang alphas proved that intelligence and capability came in many different forms. Dr. Yuna published her complete research findings, showing that humans possessed unique neurological adaptations that allowed them to form partnerships with creatures other species considered impossible to control. Her work opened new fields of study in interspecies cooperation and xenobiology. The galactic government officially recognized the Apex Partnership Program as a permanent military division, with Kim Woo appointed as the first human director. Baram received special honors as the founding partner and was granted the same rank and privileges as any senior military officer. Other species began studying human training methods and psychological techniques, hoping to develop their own partnership programs. Some succeeded in forming limited bonds with different types of creatures, but none achieved the deep cooperation that humans managed with Blood Fang alphas. Kim Woo often thought about his grandmother and the lessons she had taught him about treating all creatures with respect and understanding. Her wisdom had guided him through his first encounter with Baram and had ultimately changed the course of galactic history. The training center continued to grow with new facilities added to accommodate increasing demand for Apex Partnership teams. Kim Woo divided his time between teaching new recruits and developing advanced tactics for experienced teams. Bahram remained his constant companion and partner in all activities. 5 years after his first assignment. To Nexus 7. Kim Woo stood on the observation deck of the training center and watched dozens of human blood fang alpha teams practicing combat maneuvers. The sight filled him with pride and wonder at how far they had all come. Bahram joined him on the observation deck and made the soft purring sound that had become their private signal of contentment. The massive creature had grown older and wiser during their years together, developing an almost supernatural understanding of human behavior. And military tactics, Kim Woo scratched behind Bahram's ears and spoke to his partner in Korean, telling the creature about his hopes for the future. He envisioned a galaxy where cooperation between different species was normal rather than exceptional, where partnerships like theirs would help bring peace to hostile worlds. The success of the Apex Partnership Program had proven that the greatest strength was not in weapons or technology, but in understanding and respect between different forms of life. Kim Woo had started as just another human recruit trying to prove himself worthy of military service. Now he was the director of a program that had revolutionized warfare and demonstrated the unique value that humans brought to the galactic community. His partnership with Bahram had shown that courage, kindness, and respect